Good evening, and welcome to the Crypto Overnighter. I'm Nikodemus, and I will be your host as we take a look at the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. And remember, none of this is financial advice. And it's 10 p.m. on Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. On April 3rd, INX announced that it released the first securities token issued by a public company. The token corresponds to Greenbrier's Capital's stock. That stock is available in non-token form in the U.S. over-the-counter market. It's listed in the U.S. as GEBRF and on the Toronto Stock Exchange as GRB. Greenbrier develops affordable housing and green energy products. What's different now is that their shares can now be traded on a public blockchain network for the first time. The INX security tokens operate on the Ethereum network and follow the ERC 1404 Simple Restricted Token Standard. To buy security tokens via INX, users must sign a message through MetaMask to whitelist their Ethereum address. The smart contract monitors whitelisted addresses. If a user tries to transfer tokens to an unapproved address, the transfer is unsuccessful. INX states that they don't hold any security tokens for users, as these tokens remain in the user's wallet. The platform imposes a $25 commission on each security token purchase to manage Ethereum gas fees. INX has introduced two other security tokens on its platform, introducing INX for the platform's own shares and MSCO for the MS token Fine Art Studio. These tokens represent privately held companies, unlike Greenbrier, which is a public company, and the first to provide complete financial disclosures on the INX platform. INX also provides conventional cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ether, and Zcash. Cryptocurrency developers have typically attempted to prevent their tokens from being labeled as securities, since doing so necessitates extensive disclosures to government bodies such as the Securities and Exchange Commission. However, some experts believe that tokenizing securities will benefit the traditional financial industry, and we'll talk about that later. In September, Securitized Capital aided in the tokenization of KKR's Healthcare Strategic Growth Fund on the Avalanche network. Ralph Kuby is a member of the Casper Association, and he believes that tokenized mortgage-backed securities will be critical in preventing future financial crises. Well, if you're still here, please give me just a second to ask you to like, follow, and subscribe to the podcast. Things like that really help with visibility for the show. So, from exchange tokens, let's turn our attention to digital bonds, because tonight's cover story comes to us from Sweden and France. Because Swedish and French banks released a new digital bond platform built on blockchain technology. The platform enables institutional clients to issue, trade, and settle bonds. The process is more efficient and secure than traditional methods. Skandinaviska Enskilda Banken and Credit Agricole Bank named the joint project Solbon. The blockchain network uses a validation protocol called Proof of Climate Awareness and minimizes its environmental footprint. The Proof of Climate Awareness protocol uses low energy and rewards participating nodes. Nodes with a smaller environmental footprint get a larger reward. Solbon is the first project to use the protocol made by French IT provider Finaxis. Credit Agricole's head of innovation and digital transformation is Romanik Roletti, and he said that the bond blockchain platform is part of a bigger plan. The plan is for the bank's digital transformation. The platform has an innovative approach to the blockchain infrastructure and securities market. It also shows a strong commitment to green and sustainable finance. This commitment is part of their societal project. The project is one of many exploring blockchain, smart contracts, and Internet of Things for the environment. In October of 2022, the Bank for International Standards, Hong Kong Monetary Authority, and UN Climate Change Global Innovation Hub presented their Genesis 2.0 initiative. This initiative showed two prototypes of tokenized green bonds. Meanwhile, in Liechtenstein, VP Bank and Medico teamed up to simplify their digital asset custody and tokenization operations. VP Bank plans to expand its services using Medico's Harmonized platform. The partnership will support tokenized asset minting, burning, and storage. Marcel Fleisch is VP Bank's Chief Product Officer, and he explained that they aim to combine traditional banking and digital ecosystems to create new opportunities and services for clients. Seamus Donahue is the Chief Growth Officer at Medico, and he mentioned that the partnership allows banks to meet growing demand for new asset classes. Donahue also noted that the platform enables banks to expand their business models in various directions. He expressed pride in VP Bank's decision to use Medico Harmonize to scale its digital asset custody and tokenization services. Medico has been increasing its reach across Europe and partnering with significant players in the region. In February, the company joined forces with Deca Bank to develop a blockchain-based platform expected to launch in 2024. Medico also collaborated with DZ Bank to add digital currencies to its asset management services. Furthermore, in January, Medico partnered with TOG. TOG is a Turkish automotive technology company, so they partnered with Medico to secure its auto mobility services using smart contracts. Medico has also expanded its services to Southeast Asia. In November of 2022, the company helped the Union Bank of the Philippines launch custody and trading for Ether and Bitcoin. Now, personally, I'm looking forward to seeing how tokenization comes into play in the future. Blockchain tokenized proof of ownership seems to be an unbeatable combination for a number of issues, like home title theft. There's businesses out there selling home title insurance, which is insurance to prove you own something that you already own. That's insanity to have to pay someone for that. Bonds, as discussed, are another asset class well suited for tokenization, as are stocks. So I think we're going to see more tokenized assets tied to the blockchain. But I could be wrong. Maybe you think it's overkill to use the blockchain to show ownership. You let me know in the comments down below. BTG Pactual is a large investment bank in Brazil, and they're introducing new cryptocurrency services. In fact, it's developed its own stablecoin, the BTG doll, which is backed by the US dollar at a 1-to-1 ratio. The stablecoin will be supported by the bank's custody services. This will enable customers to convert part of their equity into dollars and to facilitate interaction between the traditional financial system and the new digital economy. The bank's head of digital assets said that the bank's using financial technology to benefit its clients. Buying BTG doll provides investors with an easy, secure, and intelligent way to invest in US dollars. This stablecoin is based on their proprietary crypto technology platform, Mint. Mint enables users to invest in cryptocurrencies as well. They recently launched 8 new assets. That brings the total number of cryptocurrencies on the platform to 22. Marcel Monteiro is Mint's head of operations, and he said that the launch of this new stablecoin demonstrates the bank's confidence in technology. It also shows their commitment to offering innovative digital products and services. The crypto exchange Gemini partnered with BTG Pactual to offer custody services for the bank's digital asset-related funds. Gemini Custody and Gemini Fund Solutions provided custody and other services for BTG Pactual's Bitcoin 20 multi-market investment fund. That fund is reportedly one of the first Bitcoin funds launched in Brazil in 2021. Brazilian banks have increasingly been adopting cryptocurrency-friendly services. Back in February, Banco do Brasil collaborated with BitFi to allow customers to pay their taxes with crypto. So, going from South America to Seoul's Southern District, because it was their prosecutor's office that confiscated $160 million worth of assets. These assets were confiscated from 8 people related to Terraform Labs, including co-founder Daniel Shin. And we've been following this story on the show for a while now. South Korean news outlet KBS stated that authorities confiscated approximately $160 million in property, mainly in the form of real estate. This property was reportedly confiscated from former Terra employees. Houses and other properties owned by former Terra Vice President Kim Mo and an unnamed executive were reportedly taken by prosecutors. A spokesperson for the prosecution team said that they're investigating the property ownership status of the suspects. They said that their team plans to preserve the confirmed property for the future recovery of damages. Prosecutors aim to prevent former Terra employees from disposing of assets in order to ensure that they're available for potential criminal proceedings. In November, authorities seized Shin's home in Seoul and are reportedly still investigating other assets allegedly linked to the Terra co-founder. That said, no South Korean court has authorized an arrest warrant for Shin. Also, the report did not mention any seized crypto assets during the investigation. Meanwhile, Terra co-founder Do Kwon was arrested in Montenegro in March after months in hiding. Montenegrin Justice Minister Marko Kovac announced that the local government received requests from the US and South Korea to take Kwon into custody. And bringing our attention back to the United States, the SEC will hold educational events for underrepresented communities. The SEC announced these events on April 3rd. They said the events aim to provide financial literacy. And now, as in the past, the SEC suggests caution be exercised when investing in cryptocurrency. In addition, the SEC warned investors to be cautious with crypto investments that may be considered securities. Unfortunately, Chair Gensler seems to think that everything is a security. And I do have to agree with the SEC when they say that people should only be risking money that they can afford to lose, just like with any speculative investment. Now, recently, the SEC received criticism from some people inside and outside the industry for taking enforcement actions, after asking them to come in and talk. Coinbase said on March 22nd that the SEC gave them a Wells notice, despite meeting with regulators over 30 times in the span of 9 months. And this isn't going to slow down. In fact, Chair Gensler just asked for an additional $2.4 billion in funding to combat crypto-related crimes. And speaking of Coinbase, the SEC is acting on a case involving a former product manager at Coinbase Global for insider trading. On April 3rd, the SEC filed in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Washington. And in the filing, the SEC said it had reached an agreement with Ishan Wahi. Wahi, his brother, and an associate are accused of using confidential information to make profits on new token listings. They took in more than $1 million in that scheme. And it's not a done deal just yet. The settlement still needs review and approval by the SEC commissioners. And that may take a few weeks. Ishan and his brother Nikhil were arrested in July of 2022 while attempting to fly to India. Both brothers pleaded guilty to insider trading charges. Nikhil was sentenced to 10 months in prison back in January. The Wahi brothers' case is among the first involving insider trading of a major US crypto exchange. So what happened is, Ishan had inside information on what new coins Coinbase planned on listing. This was during his time as a product manager from August of 2021 to May of 2022. So he didn't even make it in the job for a year before greed got a hold of him. Now he passed this information on to his brother or their friend to invest in tokens before the coins were listed. This case is significant in the context of the SEC's crackdown on crypto. That's because the SEC classified 9 tokens as crypto asset securities, and therefore under its jurisdiction. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. If you enjoyed tonight's show, then please like, follow, subscribe, leave a rating or a review. And in the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow night.